Hi everybody, welcome back to Bonsai Down Under. I haven't made a video for a while. I've just been on holiday, and I've had a couple other projects that I've been doing. A couple of plant stands. I'm getting a fair few plants now, and my wife's said we need to organise them a bit better. I might show some footage of that tomorrow. So I've still got to do a few bits on it yet and finish it off. So I had started on it, but I thought today I've got this little ficus here. It's probably similar to a lot of the fig ficuses type. I find that it's a similar one. It's another bonsai I have recently. I did in a couple of videos before. I think it's a quite similar sort of ficus. But I'm thinking of putting it over a rock, doing a root over rock for it. It's quite ficuses. I mean, this time of the year, it's okay to bare root them, and because they're very tolerant, and they do bounce back pretty good. So they're a tough plant up here in our sort of climates up here in Queensland. So yeah, so there's no drama of it, probably taking it out of the pot now, and I'm thinking about putting it on this pot, on this rock here. So I got this rock. I had a couple of ideas that I wanted to do with it. I was going to originally take it that way with the rock and straddle the plant out that way, but I do like the idea of it this way, because it's a flatter base, and no need. I won't have to tie the rock into the pot here. It's the pot I'm using. And the majority of the rock is basically inside the pot. So I'm thinking about putting the plant, straddling it across there. So yeah, I mean, this is quite a young ficus, and I think it'll really produce quite good and bond to this rock pretty good. So anyway, so let's get started with it. So as the rock, I won't really need to tie the rock in because it's going to sort of be stable. I mean, you're not going to really touch this for about 2 years, so it's going to sort of be in the one spot, and so you'll want to put it in a decent sized pot where it can have a bit of room to grow too, and those roots to develop. You don't want to put it in something too small, so there's no room for those roots to branch out. So what we'll do is we'll take this little ficus out of here first, and then we're going to see what we got. So I'll get my bin here so I can keep the mess in one spot. Just move your rock over the loom. I'll just want to move this out of here, and then I'll and we'll zoom in a little bit. Righto, so I'll give this a bit of a rake out and see what we got here. Yeah, because it's quite root bound in that little pot. So it'll be good to get those roots aerated out a little bit, and give them a little bit more room now. And they're only young roots too, so it's quite good to start a root over rock when the roots are quite young. You don't want them too developed. So that way you can train them to where you want them to go, and they're a bit more flexible too. This has got a nice sort of top root base structure happening already. So we don't want to damage these too much, these roots, because that's quite that's up high there. That one there, we'll probably remove that one, and that's sort of what I want to do with it. Because see, it's got that quite a wide opening there, on the bottom. Righto, we've come back and I have given this a little bit of a rinse out. So we've got we do have some nice roots here already developing, but they're not too fat yet. So we can move them around where we want to position them on that rock. So yeah, there's great potential there. So what we want to do, I'm thinking of putting this over the rock. I'll do it this way first because then I can sort of see because I want this to be basically the actual front. So we want them to come down, you know, spread them out a little bit. You don't want too many main roots, I think, actually coming out. So they're quite fat from when they come out of the main plant here, but then they thin out. So it will be quite interesting to when they do fatten up a little bit more. So yeah, I think something, you know, along those lines, and spread out there a little bit like that. We've got one out here. We got a couple coming down the front here. As they do thicken up, you know, in 2 years' time, you might pull it out, and but see, you want to basically, while they're young and before they do get themselves attached to the rock, you want to get your basic structure of how you want it to look like when they are really quite young roots anyway. So this one here is quite high, so I think I will discard that one. That one will go. We won't tie that one in. You know, so something like that will bring it down. And I've got a little bit of tie here, which we'll tie it down first. That's actually quite good. It's gonna sort of sit there. But I'll get some of this green tie. Now this green tie's got a nice sort of that rubber coating on the outside, so it won't bite in as much on the roots. So we'll just cut some of that. Just cut this down. We'll just sit this here for a minute. A little focus. And I'll just get some of these cut to how we want them. So we want to come around the rock, and because we've got to tie it up. So there's a couple that I want to do there. I'll do two. We get two out of this stuff's so cheap. I mean, I get this from a place called Thrifty's here where we live, and it's, you know, it's really cheap to get, and it's good stuff. I mean, it's good for tying things down, or if you want to bring a branch down, it's instead of it, and it doesn't really bite into your branches like that, you know, it's all your roots. So I thought the stuff would be good to tie this off first. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll bring this down again where we sort of want it. I'm actually looking at my front from the other way. Well, I will show you when it's tied down. So I'll turn it around and give you a look at what we got there. Okay, so when that's all tied down, when this goes in the pot, there'll be soil up to so far to what the level of the pot is, and then I'm going to put some peat moss around those roots there that are up in the air there, that are exposed out of the soil. So that'll encourage the moisture to stay on those roots, and so they don't dry out and die on me. So they'll basically get a lot more. They'll be protected anyway from the air and that. So because once those roots do dry out, they will die on you. So yeah, all right, so that's about where I think I want it to sit, just coming over the top of that rock there and branching out. So it's sort of like it's on the outside, like sort of the story is basically, you know, it's on the side of a mountain, a rock sticking out of the ground, and this little plant has basically, you know, had all the growth that's growing down on the rock, and a little seeds drop down onto that rock, and this thing's growing off it, and it's used that rock for its strength to grow. So yeah, I do like this one here coming down over the back of the rock, and we've got one at the front here. And the way these main roots are basically already straddled over anyway on the rock is quite cool. So, all right, so what we'll do is we'll give this a tie down now. I'm thinking, so see how this is, we want to go maybe there, come around across the front of it here. Just not, I'm going to get rid of that one there at the top there. I don't really need that one. So yeah, so what we'll do is we just tie this up a bit, get the pressure. Just come around a little bit there so I can put a little bit more pressure on that, tighter. Yeah, this is not really going to be out in the wind or anything like that, because see, ficuses, I mean, they don't really need to have a lot of to be out in the sun too much. So that's just the top one there, just to support it. We can sort of design, you know, move these around on the rock a bit more there. These roots now, we can spread them out a little bit. I'll just get rid of this excess of wire. Cut that away. Alright, and then we'll just tighten this up a bit more. Is that tightening it? Yeah. I'll get the pliers here and just tighten this up. And rock there a bit more. Okay. Okay, so that's that one there. It's not on there tight. See, it's not, and it doesn't damage the roots. That's what I like about this tie wire. And we'll put one down here a little bit lower so we can just, because we've got a couple of lower ones here that I want to just keep in place. Come down over the rock. Yeah, we'll put one more down the bottom here, I think. And this one go underneath here. I might just join a little bit extra onto it here. And this one, so it's a little bit I chopped up. It's, as I said, it's really big, quick. You can add a little bit to it if you need to. And it's okay. I'm gonna put one down there. We'll just make that. See, this would be a nice root down the back here. I reckon it'll look good to straddle over the back there. And I've got this one here, which is good. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's wanting to fall a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. We might put another one. We might put one up here first. I think I just maybe so that'll support that from dropping on me now. I might come up underneath there. Yeah, and tie that up. Yeah, just that'll just stop that from falling off on me then. And this root here, I want that to come down a little bit more. We can arrange that a little bit better. I'll just move it up there a bit. We get enough here just to grab this. Hopefully that'll work. That'll hold that into place better. Okay. Now naturally I think this one's going to go at the back here anyway. So yeah, that's sort of how we sort of want it. We want them to straddle down, and it's nice to get the roots to follow the grain of the rock too. So like, you know, you make it follow a sort of way that the rock is. So we'll just remove this top one. I don't want that one. So I'll just turn that around to sort of show you. Okay, so that's sort of what we've got there. And now, let's just say we want this one here going down over the back there. That'll fatten up nice over time. And we've got these couple here that might drape down. We can encourage them to have a bit of angle there, movement. And down, we've got this another nice one over here too. And plus we've got this one over here. So yeah, anyway. All right, so that's how we'll keep it there for now. So that's that. It's tied down. So now, what I'll do is I'll bring you over. We'll just move him over here a bit. I'll move him over here now. We'll just get some soil in our pot. This we got to get that in damp before it dries out on us too. We don't want them roots to dry out. So we'll just put a bit of soil in the bottom of the pot here. A bit of bonsai soil in. Alright. Something for our rock to have a bit of base sit on. Okay. Now I'm going to use this as my front. You see how that's got quite good stability already. I mean, so I don't think there's no really need to tie this in, because it's not going to go anywhere. Not going to have any movement. It's only just going to sort of be in the one spot, and it's not too heavy to carry around if I have to move it a little bit. So, alright, so what I want is that's not too bad, because I want a little bit of movement, a bit of room around there. I don't want that rock to be right against the wall of the pot, so and that's nice. I don't mind that, a little bit of that angle there coming off, and then we can, once this gets more attached, we can start to start developing the branching where we want it a little bit more. But at the moment, we just want to concentrate and get these roots to bond onto that rock. So now I'll put some more soil in here. So what we'll do is we'll just put a little bit of soil around that now. We will. We've got to start building it up. Because we're going to mound this up and put the soil in. Later on, I said, when those roots are developed on that rock, you can expose this rock a little bit more, and then you can actually put it into a shallower system. But now we've got to protect those roots to get it to cling onto the rock. We're just going to do a poker here and make sure we've got it all over here. Just so that there's no big areas where it's going to get dry spots in it. Because eventually those roots will go into this soil and they'll really start to bond down lower. So now we want to just packed it in, start building it up a little bit, and then up around the edge of that rock, because it won't matter if we want this soil in here at the moment. So It's kind of packed up around it. Really compact it in. And then when you get it to about that sort of stage, we will finish it with a little bit of peat moss around those rocks there, around those roots that are still exposed there, which will protect them then. Alright, so and I thought, well, that rock might be a bit heavy, but you know, I can still carry that alright. I mean, that's not even 10 kilos really, so that's okay. That's going to look alright, I reckon, once that starts to develop around onto that rock. So what we'll do is, I've got some peat moss here now. We'll just finish that. A little bit of peat moss. Now the peat moss is going to protect all the roots up high here, and then I'm going to put a little net across this, just to it doesn't matter if the peat moss goes down into there. You want to just dampen that peat moss so it's a lot easier to apply. So it's a bit like a nice compact, and so it'll stay there for you. Yeah, so basically all of it will be protected like that, like so, and so then all those roots now will start to travel down into the lower part of the pot, into that soil, because they love this peat moss. It's very aerated. It's a very aerated sort of material, and once you wet it, keep it wet and damp, it really packs down like sort of like wet sand. But yeah, it's got a lot of good aeration. So there you go. It doesn't look like much at the moment. It actually looks like just a plant coming out of the ground, like on top of an anthill or something like that. So, all right. So that's that. That's pretty much where you want that. That's enough on there with the peat moss. That's covered all them roots up now, all those top exposed roots. And what I was going to do is I got this little net just to keep the peat moss to stay on there. It's got this little onion basket, onion net, right? Just to tie that around. And I've got this I don't know what it is. You get all these little knick-knack things, from these little op shops, like these cheaper shops. We got ones like 50s. It's a bit like a Silly Solly shop. And I've come across these little Velcro stripping things, and so that would be alright. I'm just going to wrap that around to keep that net there. And it's sort of like waterproof stuff, so I can't see that it's going to do any damage. So we'll just have a go at that and see, try. Where's my other scissors? I don't use those. I'll cut that. So that's enough just to go around. Make it enough. And this little bit of like a Velcro stripping, come around and hook it onto it. I'm going to put one down low here, just to keep that net there, like that. Yep. Put it on there, and I might put one up the top too, just to hold the net there. Another ring. There's another ring around it. When I water this too, I water down, so you know it's not like I said, it's only there just to keep. I'm only putting this on just to keep the net from basically coming off there. That's all it is, just to secure it on there. Looks different. Anyway, yeah, that's what it's all about, having a bit of fun and trying things out, eh? You know. So right, that's pretty well established and ready to go now. I mean, to put away and let the roots develop over the rock. The peat moss too. I mean, the peat moss, it protects the soil and keeps that moisture in the soil too. So you can even put a bit more over the top of it here. Hey, you know, and it'll keep the moisture in. Yeah, it's quite a crazy looking project at the moment, but that's the fun of it, you know. You're always creating something different, you know. And I don't have a root over rock yet, so I'm thinking this would be a nice little ficus to develop over a rock. That'll just, when you water that in, it just compacts down nice and wet. And the net there too, the water will just go through that, I think, and you know, I thought, well, that would be a good idea, just to keep that peat moss up top there from falling down a bit too much. I want to keep that up nice and high and compact. So there we go. So that's it. I'll give that a little bit of a water, and that's going to sit just somewhere nice, and so it's out of the wind and out of the weather a bit, you know. It's okay every now and then if you get a little bit of rain, a nice little shower, just throw it out there, and I mean, the rainwater's the best sort of water that you want to water your plants with. Yeah, and give it we'll let those roots establish a bit more first before we give it any fertilizer, liquid fertilizer or anything like that. But you know, it's got brand new growth coming out now. But it was quite root bound in that little pot that it was in. So, all right, we're back. You can see my face. So, yep, that's all done. Now root over rock. So we'll just let that now settle down and just put it in a nice spot. I'll give it a little bit of a drink after I finish here, so that'll be fine. I'll go give it a little sprinkle. Alright guys, that's about it for this video. I hope you got a lot of fun out of that, because I really enjoyed doing that. So I might do some more root over rock sort of projects later. So thanks for those who have all tuned in and taken the time to watch the video. So tell your friends, and tell somebody who might be interested in the art of bonsai. Yeah, and once again, thank you again for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope you might have learned something there, and thought about starting your own little bonsais off, because it's a great journey that you can have with your plants and watching them grow each year and change. All right, thanks for that. All the best, and we'll see you in the next video of Bonsai Down Under. Thank you. That's the end of one. That's the end.